What's up, guys? So today I have a brand new video for you, and today I wanted to talk about those fighters that I feel like they're fake. They're fake, which means they're playing a character to themselves and showing to the media who what they wish that media know about themselves. But then when you dig deep, you see how there's a big difference between what they want to show and what they really are. So today, I wanted to talk about that. But before that, I wanted to make sure that if you want to watch along with me the fight for this Sunday, so the UFC White House, I'll do a live reaction, and so you do not miss, make sure that you subscribe and click on the bell so you do not miss my live reaction. So, I want to talk about those fighters that I feel like they are playing a character. They are not uh, r- really what they seem to be. Like, those are the fighters that if you search deep, and you can see that there is a mismatch between what they portray themselves to be and what they really are. So I wanted to talk about that, but then there are some categories, like they don't play a role, they don't play a character the same way. I'll be first talking about those fighters that I feel like they're playing a character, but not in a way you think. They're playing, they're trying to be really cool and nice, but then when you search deep, you see how they can be real assholes, as you say in um like it's a in a English slang. So and then I'll be talking about the fighters that I feel they're just doing too much. Like they're not fake, but then they're just doing too much. Like it's really unnecessary. And then I'll be talking about those fighters that I think they are really playing a character by which what they seem to be and what they really are, it's two parallel thing. So I'll be also talking about that. So what do I mean is that they can seem really tough and play it cool, but then when it comes to fighting or in real life, this is not what they really are. All right, so I'll be talking about that. And first, the first fighter with whom I'll be talking is this guy, Conor McGregor. So the Conor McGregor is he's really known for being like a trash talker. Like he's, in my opinion, he's the best when it comes to talking trash because um, contrary to other fighters that I feel like it doesn't go well with their image. Like it doesn't play along really nice. But then when it comes to Conor, like what this is what he's really known for, and he was people got really fan of Conor McGregor because of that. He was playing that mean character, and um, even though most of the time when it comes to fighting, it wasn't going most of the time on his way. Like if we go talk about the way he fought Dustin Poirier for the third time, and then other fighters like such as Khabib. Uh, it, Even though it didn't go the way he wanted to be, I mean, this guy was really selling. Like he was that kind of a fighter that's. I mean, even you can see how Dana liked this fighter because he was bringing money. But then I feel like this guy is, when you search deep, like he can be. I mean, such an asshole. Like the way he was insulting. Khabib, the way, like he was really going too far. Even the way he was being really rude against Dustin Poirier. I mean, he was really rude at the point that I didn't even. I, I wasn't feeling like guilt when like his third fight against Dustin Poirier, where he broke his leg accidentally, and then I mean Dustin was even it didn't matter to Dustin because regarding what's happened previously, like he really went there and insulted Dustin's wife, and like he was just going too far. So that's what I feel about Connor. But then I'll be talking about another one that I think did worse, and this is Jon Jones. I mean, Jon Jones is he's when I mean that I feel Jon Jones is one of those fake guys, but then not in the way that you'll think. He's he's really what he seems to be. Like he's a really tough dude. Like he's a legend. Like nobody can deny how good he is. This guy, like he's really good when it comes to martial art. He's a professional. But then I feel like when you go back watch the beef that he had with Daniel Cormier, and you could see where there's a part where I think the camera he thought that the camera was off, and then the way he was bullying Daniel Cormier, and then when Daniel Cormier mentioned that the camera is still on, and then he seemed to be surprised, as if like he was playing like two opposite characters, and it seems to be really weird. And so he's a really like John Jones is the type of guy that I want if I was um if I was to go and then if you would ask me who are the fighters that I want to hang up with and uh like just to chill and I don't know, just go grab a burger at McDonald's and then just uh, have fun. I won't say John Jones because you can't expect what's can come. Like even you can see how on the videos that he like to do when he's traveling to countries from countries like he tends to have this kind of attitude where um he he can be sometimes like mean or too energetic, and it seemed like he's trying to find out like the little beast in you, like he want to test you out. Like this is what I've noticed about John Jones. But then he's fake in the point that just as Connor, he can go like really far when it comes to his personality. But then when it comes to John Silva is one of those. I mean, by the way, all of these fighters like Connor, John Jones, even John Silva, they're really, when it comes to martial arts, these are real professionals. Like when they say that they're gonna do something, they really do it. Even though most of Connor's fight didn't go his way, when he meant that he'll be fighting as a man, like he'll be really trying to bring entertainment. That's what that's what he do most of the time. Like you won't, if you go back watch Connor's fights, you won't see like a Connor fight that was boring. It's impossible. Like most of the times, all of this his fights are really entertaining, and that's what I feel about Jones and particularly John Silva. This guy is so talented, but then he can play this character like of a mean guy, like uh not that he do too much, but then like he wanna play that mean character and trying to show the his fans that he can be mean, and then he will compensate by fighting the guy he will fight, and then he will win, and then people will just forget about uh the way he has been an asshole like few days ago. So I won't talk much about John Silva because he's not a guy that there's not a lot of things that I know about John Silva, so I won't talk too much about him. But then now we're going to go to a different category of people that I feel like they're playing like a character. Now we're going to a category where I feel those those fighters are just, I feel like they're really doing too much, and just it's, I think I feel like it's really unnecessary. And I'll be talking about uh Joe Rogan. Like he's not a fighter. Like he's not a fighter, but then I just wanted to talk about him because I feel like he's one of those guys that are really I feel like he can be really really passionate, and then forgetting to be he can forget, by doing so he can most of the time forgets to be a little bit rational. Like uh, we can see how when he want to talk about fighters such as Alex Pereira or Jon Jones or who Topuria, like there's nothing bad about talking good things about fighters that you like, but then when you're especially a commentator like him, and then it's go at the point where we can see how like he's so he can be really fanatic at a point, like, and I feel like it's too much. Like I this is a guy that I really like, by the way. Like he's a really nice guy. Like most of his podcasts are really good, even though I feel like he can do better when it comes to asking questions. Like he doesn't go deep when it comes to asking good questions on his podcast, but I feel like he's too much of a fan, and he can forget to be rational at some point. And I feel that's what I feel about Joe Rogan, but nothing serious. But then I want to talk about those fighters that I feel are just doing too much, such as Belal Muhammad. Belal Muhammad is a guy that I also like because you can see how he really improved. He improved in the way that, uh, like, he was known. People didn't like Belal before because people felt like how he was boring. Like when each time he want to go to grapple his opponent and then trying to take him down, it's he wasn't exciting at first, but then when he started to fight Leon Edwards, when you go back watch his fight against Jack Della Maddalena, Ian Gary. For me, his fight against Ian Gary was one of my uh, the best fight he fought, in my opinion, because he was really striking, and he had good times where he was really touching Ian Gary. Even though I feel Ian Gary was a little like was slightly better because of his kicks and the way he was hitting him as well. But Ian Gary is a really entertaining fighter. But then he can do too much when it comes to his. There's nothing wrong when it comes to fighters that who want to show that um, they are really sure of themselves. But then if you're going to fight a fighter that who is as strong as you or even slightly better, uh, showcasing the way you are sure of yourself, I mean it's just too much because at the end if you lose, and by the way I think I've mentioned it in the previous video that I did where when I was talking about those fighters that do the same mistakes, and I'll say that Belal, uh, he's really entertaining, but then he has to find a way he can finish fights, because if he goes to decision from decision, it can go at a point that he just gets too many decisions because to be honest, the fighters he's really fighting are really uh, their striking skills are much more better than those of Belal. Even though Belal has become a good striker, but when you know that you're fighting a tough guy and try to portray that that you're sure of yourself, nothing serious is gonna happen. I'm not really sure about that. Like, I don't agree with that, but it's not. It's not a big deal. It's not a really big deal because again, he's as those previous fighters that I was talking about. He brings entertainment. To be honest, he really brings entertainment. But then I wanted to mention as well Tom Aspinall because there was a time where he did an interview with Nina Drama, where Nina was asking some questions. And by the way, these are questions that he was asked previously on his previous interviews. But then I was surprised to see how um, he responded by saying like he was confused. Like he was saying that this is not what I said, and you're basically it's not true. This is not what I said, and you're putting some words in things that I didn't say. But then when I went back, and no, even Nina Drama brought back those previous interview where Tom actually said what Nina thought, and this was a kind of like he was really Nina Drama really exposed that part of Tom where he can forget that he said something, and then when you ask about it, he said like, "No, this is not what I said," and I think that's I feel like it's a little bit weird because why don't you I mean, stay honest, right? Like, if you say something and then you change, I mean, it's a little bit of a red flag for me, to be honest. And so this was like so um, his interview. This was his second interview with Nina Drama. His first one was, to be honest, was the weirdest interview wherein he asked a really, really unexpected question to Nina where he asked, have you been fingered by an MMA fighter? Like, this was so weird, man. And I think like when you try to act like those guys that want to act cool and then by trying to be that unique guy by asking like weird question, I think that's going a little bit too far and really unnecessary. Like he's a really tough fighter. Like his resume is so good that there are no fighter that has such a resume, like few ones. But then it's a little bit too much when you start to act the way he acted. And that's what I feel about Ilia Topuria as well, man. Like, if you ask Ilia Topuria any fight that's like if you ask, let's say, he said that the fight between Paddy Pimbland and Justin was boring, and I was kind of confused. Like, where in the world can you say that this fight was boring? It wasn't boring at all. It was so entertaining. And this goes the same for like he has these tendencies of not giving respect to fighters that he think that he's better than them, and it's okay to feel like you're better than some fighters, but then at the point where you're not respecting them and their achievement, I think is really going too far, man. And I don't see the use of that, to be honest. And why don't you stay in your position, like, stay in your private space, and then just respect all the fighters, even those fighters that you think that you will beat in just one round. And I feel that was the I think it's a little bit too far, man. And so this was about that. So this was about the second category I was talking about. So those fighters that I think are just doing too much. I think he's a really talented fighter, no doubt. But then he's doing too much when it comes to giving his opinion about other fighters. But then I want to talk about those fighters that I feel like the way they portray themselves and what you find out after, it's really there is a parallel gap between that. And I want to talk about Khamzat Chimaev because the way his press conference, when I watched the press conference he did before fighting Sean Strickland, I felt like it will be like a Khabib versus Conor type of fight. But then I was really shocked to see how he was playing that bullying character uh, by saying like like and I had no problem with that because Sean Strickland was the one who started that. But then when you talk trash in press conferences, and then during the fight you shake hands and you just fight in you don't say what you say that you'll be doing. I think it's not I don't it feels like really, how can I say it, I don't really agree with that because, and I was really shocked about Kamsa because, okay, there are people say that he it was because of he had some health issues because uh, he really made a deep cut weight, and it was really insane. And there are some fighters who brought their testimony where they said that, yeah, they could see how Kamzat was really suffering with that weight cut. But then I don't agree where, like, it's it doesn't look well when you talk trash and then you trying to make people think that the way you'll be fighting will be like you'll be fighting like a gladiator, and then at the end you shake hands and then you do as if like nothing happens, even though he insulted your religion, your family. And I mean, it's I don't agree with that. Like, why don't you like play one character, like just be yourself from the start? Like, I didn't appreciate that. But then for this is another guy that I think there is a parallel between what he portrayed to be and then what he really is. Uh, the f- the part where I noticed that is when DDP made Adesanya cry for the first time. Well, it's not the first time that he cried. Like he showed like he's on because Adesanya has a film that he made where he's really documenting like the the way he fights and the way he prepare on fight camps before fighting, and that's what he did when before fighting Alex Pereira. So there was a part where he showed where he was crying because, and there was nothing wrong about that. But then when DDP made him cry, like to be honest, I wasn't. It was kind of shocking for me because uh, DDP didn't. If you go back and watch deep and then just analyze without any emotion what DDP said, like there's nothing provocative about that. I mean, I think if Adesanya wasn't too emotional about that, he could find a way to respond to DDP and try not to make it a big deal. Uh, and then this what following what happened at that time, we could see how the we could easily predict that the fight won't go in his way if he fight DDP, because I knew that DDP was a much better fighter than Israel Adesanya. But then the reason I'm saying like he played a character is because he's the one who actually initiate uh, um, the beef between DDP and him. DDP didn't start about the beef he had with Israel Adesanya and him. It's because Israel Adesanya felt he got offended when DDP said something like, uh, I mean, I'm the first African fighters, like something like that. And then uh, out of his own imagination, Adesanya assumed he said something else. And then he just went there after DDP knocked out, um, what's his name again? I keep forgetting name. But then Adesanya just came out of nowhere and then starts to uh, call him nigga and then trying to embarrass him. I'm not embarrassing. Embarrass. I get he trying to make a fight against him, but then he made it personal. And then DDP, when they made that press conference, of course, DDP wanted to come back and also show what he can do when it comes to trash talk. But then the last one I'll be talking about is this guy, Sean Strickland. I feel like, I mean, to go straight to the point, he's not the guy that he portrayed to be. Just because uh, he can talk. I have nothing against those guys that's trying to use media and then to say what's in their mind, like share their thoughts. Like I have no problem with that. But then it's not. It's so obvious that he's really there's a real gap between what he portrayed to be and then what he really is. Even when you go back watch his fight against Kamzat, he won according to the judges. No problem with that. But then if you assume that he was much better than um, Kamzat, I don't think we've watched the same fight because Kamzat was much better. If you back up for five entire rounds, there's no debates whether Kamzat is better or not against Sean Strickland. I still think Kamzat is still better than Strickland because he was just backing up, even though he won by decision. It was even a split decision, but he was backing up most of the time. Like the fight that I liked the most about Sean Strickland was the way he fought Adesanya. The way he fought Adesanya was like just a masterpiece. But then the way he fought Kamzad, uh, it was it doesn't correspond to the way he saw that fight. There's something about selling a fight and actually doing what you said that you'll be doing, like walking for walking and talking for talking, walk to walk and talk to talk. And I don't think that Sean Strickland is that type of guy. And these are the fighters that I think are playing a character. That I think that they're being fake on the way they are. And I'll be interested to hear also from you. Don't forget to subscribe and like, and see you next time for upcoming videos. Don't forget that I will do my live reaction. So if you want to watch live the fights, the UFC White House, along with me, don't forget to subscribe.